Good afternoon or good evening, everybody, wherever you are from. Welcome to tonight's motivational training. Focus on the outcome, not the obstacle. My name is Mark Krebs. I'm a gold qualified consultant with Team Sunset, part of Team Empire, Team World Explorer, and Team Rising Tide. A little bit about myself. I have been with Archer and Evolution for over 2 years, but I've been a travel agent for the past 10 years or more. Well, more to be exact. So I've got a lot of knowledge and wisdom that I have been able to draw upon to give you guys this training tonight. Again, like the title of the training says, this motivational training is about focusing on the outcome in your life and not the obstacles that you face it. So like in the title slide, it says seizing opportunities every day, embracing the challenges, growing stronger together. We here at Archer are a big family. And that is something that we need to all embrace. Okay. Everyone from your mentors to your teammates to your gold leaders to your platinum to the Archer office, we are one big family here. And we are all there to cheer you on, no matter what you are facing, the good and the bad. Okay. So we are there for you no matter what you are facing in your personal life and your business life. And I mean that wholeheartedly. And you guys will hear my story tonight about how this has really affected me in both my personal life and my professional life since coming on with Archer. So like I said, I'm a gold qualified mentor with Team Sunset. I'm also a trainer, a leader, an entrepreneur, and I'm also a survivor. And you guys will hear about my story of survival here in just a little while. And it's not one for the faint of heart. This story of survival is one that I've had to battle back from for nearly 2 years. And it was a big obstacle in my life that I had to overcome. And you can overcome anything that you put your mind to with the support of people around you, your friends, your family, and your team, especially here at Archer. Okay? So you don't want to face obstacles like they are an end-all be-all situation for you. You need to get creative in the way that you face them. And that's what this motivational talk tonight is all about. Okay, it is how to focus on your outcomes, short, middle, long-term outcomes, and not letting those obstacles stand in your way. So first, what are opportunities? Opportunities are defined as a set of circumstances that makes it possible to do something. We have a lot of opportunities in this business, whether it's booking just a hotel room for a client or booking that dream vacation that they've always wanted that's going to cost them $50,000 to go on, and you make a nice big fat commission check of $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 on that trip for them. That is an opportunity. But we also have opportunities in our everyday lives that we need to take advantage of as well. Okay, no matter how small they are, we all have opportunities that we need to look at and take advantage of. Okay, and that is a key to a fulfilling life. No matter what they are, take advantage of the opportunities that are there in front of you. Now, what are obstacles? Obstacles are a thing that blocks one's way or prevents or hinders progress. Yes, there are obstacles in everyday life. Okay. As travel agents, we all just experienced a big obstacle this past week with the cyber meltdown with CrowdStrike. Okay. But that was an obstacle that we were able to overcome for our clients. And we turned that obstacle into an opportunity. Okay, because we were able to show our clients that we were there for them. We were there to help solve their problems. We were there to help get them answers. We were there to solve the issues for them and get them where they were going, whether it was to their vacation, to an intermediate destination, or home from their vacation. Okay? Think about the tens of thousands of travelers that did not have a travel advisor and they had booked this on their own. Okay? Those were huge obstacles in their way. I have a friend of mine that I was reading his Facebook page yesterday. He spent 2 hours at a library in the Black Hills of South Dakota trying to research on his own online how to get a full refund with Delta, and then spent another 4 hours on the phone with them, arguing with them under their refund policy. I offered my services to him a little bit too late because he had already been able to secure the refund, but now he knows that I am a travel agent. Now he knows that he can come to me, even if he doesn't book that travel with me. This is a very good friend of mine. I have known him and worked with him for years in the past. And he can come to me with these problems. And he knows that I will help him fix them. So I can turn that obstacle that he experienced into an opportunity for myself and for him. Nobody wants to sit on the phone in a hold queue for 4 hours to talk to a really upset customer service agent at an airline, especially if they are a passenger. Okay? But us travel advisors know what is going on, and we're prepared to do that on behalf of our clients so that we can make the process as seamless for them as possible and take that stress off of them. We face their obstacles head on, and that turns into new opportunities for us in the future because they are going to want to book with us more. They are going to tell their friends and family about the service that we provide to them. They in turn are going to tell more people, and it's going to be like a chain of reaction of events. And you're going to get more and more word of mouth referrals just by providing that high level of customer and client service. And that obstacle is going to turn into a whole lot of opportunities for you. Now, how do you overcome obstacles? It is based on your mindset about the way that you want to overcome what is in your path. There are always ways to overcome the obstacles which present themselves in your life. You just have to find what the right solution is for you. Again, perfect example this weekend. I know of agents who had to get creative with the ways that they solved the problems for their clients. Okay? Whether it was advising their clients to book a flight on another airline that was available and then go through the refund process with their regularly scheduled airline, whether it was having us sit on hold with them, or whether it was going through one of our vendors, such as VAX. In some cases, before the airline stopped saying that tour operators could call them to fix things on behalf of the client, it would have to be the travel agent. There were some creative workarounds that agents were coming up with to turn these obstacles into opportunities for themselves and opportunities for their clients to get home or to their destinations. I was reading something earlier today that said Southwest was not affected by the Microsoft glitch because they are still using a Windows 3.1 system. And they did not have to worry about all those security rollouts that CrowdStrike had put out because they are using an old antiquated system from 32 years ago. I grew up using that Windows system first. 32 years old. Southwest was not affected by it. That's why their flights were not grounded like Delta, American, United. All the mainline carriers were grounded except for Southwest, guys. They turned that obstacle into an opportunity because of their systems. Their passenger numbers jumped that weekend because people found out that Southwest was still flying and could get people to their destinations. So Southwest found a way to turn that obstacle that was grounding every other airline into an opportunity. So if a major corporation can do that, why can't a small business person like you and I do it? So before I get into my story, I do want to warn you guys. The next slide that I'm going to show you does have medical images in it. But this is part of my story from about 2 years ago, nearly 2 years ago to the day. Okay? So if you are sensitive to these types of images, the slide is not going to be up there very long, probably about 30 to 45 seconds. But I do want to let you know there is nothing graphic in the slide. But I do want to show you an obstacle which I faced before I get into my story. This is a personal obstacle that I had to overcome on August 7th, 2022. These are photos that my wife, Becca, took of me lying in the surgical ICU unit at Sanford Hospital in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. These photos were taken on August 8th, about 12 hours after I had had life-saving surgery. During that time, I developed a bleeding ulcer, and I apologize for the slides coming out the way they did. They didn't convert properly in Canva. On August 7th, I developed a bleeding ulcer. It required emergency surgery in Sioux Falls. I live in Vermilion, South Dakota. So the nearest trauma center is an hour to my north, where I go for all of my treatment. I checked into the ER at about 10 o'clock in the morning in Vermilion on August 7th. What's unique about that day is that it was Becca and I's 6th wedding anniversary that day. So I checked in with abdominal pain. They did all their tests. They did all their scans. They found an obstruction in my stomach. During the time I was at the hospital in Vermilion, my blood pressure bottomed out to 50s over 40s. I was in critical condition. Due to storms, they could not life flight me out of there. We had to wait 2.5 extra hours for a ground transport ambulance to get me to Sioux Falls. There were no paramedics available to ride with me. So a nurse from Sanford Vermilion Hospital had to ride with me and administer medication as needed on the trip up. When I arrived in Sioux Falls, I became extremely critical. From the reports that I have read and from firsthand knowledge from some of the nurses that I have talked to who took care of me that day in the ER, within 10 minutes of my arriving, they had to put me into a medically induced coma and intubate me. Within 45 minutes of my arrival in the emergency department, I was on the operating room table. 4.5 hour long major surgery. That same day, I was placed into a medically induced coma for 7 days afterwards to make sure that my body would heal. I was in the surgical ICU unit for 10 days. During that time that I was there, 6 out of 10 months of my life in 2022 and 23 was spent in that hospital, undergoing 10 different major surgeries during that time. 10 different major surgeries during that time. My first 2.5 months there, from August 7th until October 10th, 2022, I was so emotionally and physically weak that I could not do anything. I felt like my life was crashing down around me. I felt like my business was going to fail. I felt like I was letting my team down, because at that time I had a team of 25 agents, and I lost most of them during that time because I was not available for them as a mentor. I was training agents at that time as well. I was barely able to post updates to our leadership team, to our other platinum leaders and trainers, to keep them posted on how I was doing. I was that weak. It wasn't until the end of September when I felt strong enough to start getting my business back to where it was. And even then, I wasn't back to full strength, obviously. The next 3 to 4 months, I was at home. I was recovering. Then I went back into the hospital starting in March. And then for another 3 months, I was in and out of the hospital. For the first 2 weeks of March, I was in and out of the hospital. I spent 17 out of 24 days in the hospital. So I only got to spend a week at home. And then on day 24, they admitted me for another 2.5 months. It was during that other 2.5 months, that second span of 2.5 months, that I decided that I needed to make a change. With the ongoing support of my family and friends, especially the ones that I have made as business partners here with Archer, I was able to keep my spirits up. Okay. During that time, even during my first hospitalization, with the support of my family and my friends here in South Dakota and my business friends and family, I started to regain my emotional well-being and my emotional strength, along with my physical strength. And I started to push that obstacle away. During that second hospitalization in March, I decided that I wasn't just going to sit around and feel sorry for myself. I couldn't do that. I decided that I was going to turn this situation into an opportunity for myself. Continue to grow my business and my team. It didn't matter what I had to do to accomplish this goal. I was going to do it. So what did I do? I had my wife bring up my printer. I had my wife bring up my files. I set up a mobile office in my hospital room. And I worked. I did trainings from my hospital bed. Frequently, I was doing maybe 4 or 5 trainings a week from my hospital bed. Even though I was having multiple surgeries and procedures, I would take a couple days off here and there for those, but I would still come back and do my trainings. I would talk with clients. I would grow my team. I would do work. I wasn't just going to sit around and mope. How did I accomplish this goal? I had to keep a positive attitude the entire time, no matter what was being thrown at me medically. I kept my normal routines going. I kept helping our agents. I kept kept booking travel for my clients. I kept prospecting for new clients from the physicians who came to see me, the nurses, the therapists, the volunteers, and other staff members who I had contact with each and every single day during that time I was in the hospital. I gained 75 new prospective clients from that last hospital stay alone. 75. Simply because the first thing that people ask is, what do you do for work? Because they would see me sitting in my bed and working. And I'm like, I'm a travel agent. This is what I do. I can work from anywhere. And this just proves it. No, I'm not telling you guys, if you are in a life or death medical situation, to do what I do or to do what I did and work from your hospital bed. No, I'm telling you to focus on your health and get better. And I know somebody in this presentation tonight that needs to hear this badly. Exactly, Caitlin. Focus on getting better. First and foremost, your business will still be there when you get better. But I wasn't going to let myself stop because I knew I was going to be there for a long time. And I couldn't just sit in my bed or in my recliner in my room and watch TV all day. I had to do something to keep my mind off of things. And the best thing that I knew how to do was to keep my life as normal as possible. $75 new clients, potential clients, guys. I still talk to my physician. They still see me in the hall at Stanford and ask how I'm doing. I made lifelong connections up there because of this brush with death. And people remember the tenacity that you have. Okay? That is one thing that I will say. People remember your tenacity. People remember who you are, especially during the tough times. If you can push through them, and I know you can, you are going to be remembered no matter what. Opportunities overcome obstacles, guys. Seizing chances, overcoming challenges, and thriving in every situation presented. Embracing possibilities, pushing boundaries, and sculpting a successful future together. And by together, I mean with your loved ones, with your family and friends, with your team members, with your mentors, with your platinums, whoever you are close to. We are all here to help you succeed in both life and your business. I have made many lifelong friends here at Archer. People that I talk to every day or every other day. Not just about business, but about things going on in my life. And who I ask advice from. My bond with my wife is getting stronger by the day because we've both had our fair share of medical challenges over the past 2 years. But I keep reminding her that we can overcome these obstacles together. No matter what you guys put your mind to, you can do it. And you can overcome whatever obstacle life throws at you. It may be hard. Yes. There may be challenges thrown at you. Yes. But if you face those challenges one at a time and think them through, You guys are going to be amazing. And you guys are going to be able to turn those challenges and obstacles into opportunities. So I want to leave you guys with this. Embrace your opportunities, conquer your obstacles, and thrive always. Does anybody have any questions for me? And feel free to unmute yourselves.
Hey, Mark, it's Sylvia.
Yeah, Sylvia.
Hey, quick question. After this, is there can I get with you? I just wanted to do just a mock booking for a group vacation for Disney, and I just wanted to see if you can help me real quick after we're done with all of this.
Sure thing.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And you are an inspiration, guy. Oh my gosh. You have been through hell and back, and I know how it feels. I've been there and back also. I just got into an accident on Friday. I was on a bicycle and got hit by a car.
Ooh.
I'm okay. Thank God I'm here. I have a fractured hip, but I'm here.
I am glad you are still here and okay. I totally understand that. So, does anybody have any other questions for me about what it took for me to overcome these opportunities, or any other comments that they would like to say?
I do. That is amazing. Can I go ahead and send a friend request on Facebook, and that way I can kind of just get some feedback from you? You've been doing this longer than I have, but you just, like you said, you push forward them obstacles, and I'm starting to get a little bit kind of just bummed out that I'm not getting any responses. I'm doing what I need to do, and I'm just not getting no results. And I'm not giving up, but it's discouraging.
Sure. I put my Facebook profile link into the chat for everybody.
Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, not a problem, everybody. So, but yeah.
Mark, I would like to say something. I don't know if I told you this or not, but that's why I wanted to listen to you again today, because I needed it. And I guess you knew I needed it, because that's why I'm on here. But anyway.
Yeah.
September, I had a heart attack 2 years ago. September make 2 years.
Yep, I do remember you telling me that.
Yes. And my inspiration and opportunity, I was on LinkedIn and I saw Archer Travel, because I had got, I told you I had been in the mortgage business for 25 years. I got laid off, and then I have a heart attack. So I'm like, okay, God, what are you trying to tell me here? Right. And just one day I remembered that, as we both have discussed, that I was in the airline business before, Archer Travel, and something just jumped out at me. It's like, well, Michelle, why don't you go back to your first love? So that's how I started with you guys with my travel agent business. And I was just sitting in my room one day, sort of kind of, feeling down. And I was on LinkedIn and I saw the word travel. And then I saw Archer. I was like, well, why not give it a shot? You have nothing to lose. You're not doing anything anyway,
Right.
So in other words, what I'm saying, guys, is this is actually how I got with Archer. We're trying to recover from the heart attack, and, thanking the good Lord that I'm still here, yada, 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 yada. So I just wanted to share that short story.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much for sharing, Michelle. Really appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, you told me that story before, but it's important for other people to hear that you're overcoming challenges yourself as well by getting into this business also.
Yes, because I was excited. You'd have thought I was starting college all over again or something. But I did start.
Yeah, you've described it that way to me before.
But no, it's really, it's my therapy. I put it that way.
There you go.
My grandmother used to always tell me sometimes, you're never too old to start something new.
This is true. Right. Yeah.
That's absolutely true.
Because I'm going to tell you, I almost threw in the towel, though. It's like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. But I knew.
I feel it coming. You're going to strong woman, and you always complete everything that you do. When you put your mind to it, you always complete it.
This is true. Because when I started the mortgage business, I didn't know anything about that either. And I was like, you have nothing to lose here. That's the way I look
Nothing to
at
lose,
things. You
and
have more to gain than you do to lose.
exactly.
So, but thanks, Mark.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Hey Mark, I just clicked on your page for following and send a friend request for
Yep, I
Jacqueline.
just saw it. I just saw it come through, Jacqueline. I will
Thank you.
accept it as soon as I get off of here.
All right, thank you.
So everybody, I just noticed a very special guest in the room, Krista Wiley, one of our 1-star platinums. Krista, how are you? I didn't see you sneak in here.
I had my name changed to something completely different for a little while because I always know, man, like when us platinums hop in, people are like, oh no.
I didn't even notice because I had my other screen, my dual screen going. So I didn't even see the participants list until just now. So Krista, welcome in.
Thanks. I was waiting for everybody else to be done and then I was gonna unmute, but thanks for the welcome. I love it. Was hopping in. I know you and I have kind of shared back and forth a little bit. And so I was like, I'm working on some convention stuff. I'm gonna hop in and show some love to Mark. You guys, I am so impressed with the fact that Mark's not afraid to share this life-changing thing. And it gives me chills literally sitting here because I was a paramedic for 15 years. And so looking at those pictures, like they don't bother me. But it's so interesting, you talking about the transfer and you talking about the medical, like I've seen that, I've dealt with that. And I know the impact that has on people psychologically, right? And to come back from a place, and I remember you and I talking about, like, you started booking clients in the hospital.
Oh yeah.
You were like, you know what?
I was booking nurses in the hospital.
There's no excuse. You never were going to say, like, this is the end. Like, I'm done. I'm hanging up the towel. Like, hey guys, everybody's saying hi in the chat. Hi guys. And so the perseverance to be like, you know what? I want to succeed. I'm in the hospital. I got Wi-Fi. I got my computer. I got my phone. I have a whole bank of people that I can work with. And so, they say turn lemons into lemonade, or, limes into margaritas, like whichever way you want to go. Right. And so I love the fact that you're not afraid to tell your story. And so many times, we all have different stories. And I was actually just talking to one of my mentors recently, and I'm like, man, my story is not that profound. I don't feel like my story is so profound. And I too am just like, oh, I share my story and I'm like, I don't know if it reaches people. And then, like, I talk to people and they're like, no, Krista, like, your story is so impactful. And what's so great about this is, you can bring out the fact that, Michelle had a heart attack. I think it was Michelle, if I remember right. Like, Michelle had a heart attack. She's
one of my agents. So
yeah, like Michelle had a heart attack. And so she's connecting with you, through medical, that was a medical challenge, right? For those of you guys that don't really know my story, I joined this as a hobby. I never thought that this business was going to be anything other than that. And my body gave out. I unfortunately, as a paramedic, I got hurt. And something that I thought was always going to be there for my family, I thought I was going to provide for always. And it didn't. But I was very thankful that I had this opportunity and had already kind of started diving into things for fun money. And it ended up being, now this is my full-time income. And so you just never know when you're going to need this business. And so to plug away day in and day out, because someday you might, right? And I'm a perfect example of that, right? You're a perfect example of, like, you were growing a team and you were working on these things, and then you had a medical challenge, right? But you're not going to let that challenge get in the way. And I hope that somebody's story, if it's yours, if it's mine, it's Michelle's, like if it's Sylvia's, right? You're going to connect with different people and see that you're not alone, right? And we can all get success, right? Like the Amy Cabreras and the Emily Jimenez's and the Sarah Rogers. And I mean, shoot, even Charles and Nikki Lee, like the things that they went through, right? Like even listening to Founder's story, right? People look at Founder and they're like, oh man, his life is so easy. Man, his life is, and it's like, nah, like if you really know where Founder came from, like any of us can be like him, right? Any of us can be, the Courtneys and the Sarahs and the Emilys and the whatevers. And so I think that is so profound. And I love the fact that you get on here, you tell your story, and you're finding success through that. So I love that.
Yeah, you want to tell Founder and Tony that I'll share it to the entire convention next year when I can come? I had to cancel this
I know. It's, but that's also, you're going to get to convention. You're going to be able to, and sometimes it's even in those small intimate conversations, right? And, I tell my team, I tell my leaders, my golds, my silvers, I tell them like, look at, people are going to come up to you and they're looking for inspiration, right? Don't compare you, don't compare you to somebody else like, oh, my story. And I'm telling you straight from me, like that was my thing. I thought, well, my story is not that impactful. And then I find out that it really is, so.
Just listen to some of the stories that people tell during promotions.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they Absolutely. Are very, very impactful.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I mean, I've had agents that this company has saved them from suicide. I've had agents who this has saved them from mental breaks. I've had people that this business has saved them from divorce and from all of these other things, right? It saved them from homelessness. Like it saved them from just like they've needed a place to belong. We are so, one of the things that I absolutely love about Archer and Evolution is we are so proud of our culture, right? Like we want that culture. Some of my best friends have come from this company, right? Like my daughter and son call them aunties and uncles because of those connections that I've never found in any other, company, business, opportunity, or anything else. So for sure, those connections are amazing and the culture of the company.
Right. Auntie Courtney, right?
Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
So, well, thank you for sharing that, Krista. I really appreciate it. And thank you for coming in tonight. I really appreciate it. So,
absolutely.
Well, does anybody else have any other comments or questions for me tonight about this? Again, this is recorded if you guys want to go back to it. I am going to put my YouTube channel into the chat so that you guys can go back and watch this again if you would like. And it will be sent out to all of the leaders for both Rising Tide, World Explorer, and Team Empire as well. And it will be distributed appropriately. So there is my YouTube channel in the chat for you guys. Feel free to subscribe to my page. So, but again, thank you guys very much for spending part of your Tuesday night with me. I do my normal trainings every Tuesday. So I will be training while everybody else is at convention. So my training schedule does not change. So I will be doing trainings next week and the following week. So, but again, thank you guys very much for spending part of your Tuesday night with me. I hope that this inspires you guys to just keep pushing forward, no matter what the obstacle is that you face in your life. Just know that you guys can get through it. Just take it one step at a time, one day at a time, and you guys will be able to get through everything. So
thank you, Mark. Very encouraging. Very encouraging.
Yeah, my pleasure. So thank you all very much again for being here tonight. And I hope you all have a great rest of your week.